out of Byron Bay today to show you an architecturally designed home with a striking coastal modern facade.
We're catching up with architect Joe Snell, who's going to show us through his latest project, a modern twist on the old Weatherboard beach shack.
Well, this is really cool. I love a black and white house. We've got a black and white house, but in reverse. It's always so striking, such a good combination.
I call it a coastal modern look. We've used the Linea weatherboard because it's just got really crisp lines, and in this instance it's all about the fresh white horizontal look. So when you look at this facade, I've actually broken it into two segments. One is your classic home gable, and then the other is a box. And they just work together to really bring a bit of charm to the street rather than one big lump. So you've got the white house and then the black windows. Importantly, I wrapped those windows around the corners. So it becomes a negative on the corner and once again reduces the bulk of the building and makes it a much more beautiful architectural piece to the street.
For me, the great thing about this Linea weatherboard is it does combine both form and function. You know, we're obviously pretty close to the water here. It's going to be exposed to all those elements, but being an FC product, it's going to stand the test of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the key thing about Linea is that it is that fibre cement, so it's going to outlast us all. The other thing I like about it is you get really clean lines because of the material it's made of.
I love the shadow lines that this weatherboard creates.
How good is it?
Yeah,
how good is it?
I actually love the pitched roof. That to me is that sort of your classic take on it?
I mean, that shape, the gable, that's all about a sense of home. You know, it's the first thing we draw when we're kids, right? So if you see that, you just go, we're home now.
Well, I guess if coastal modern was your brief, you've certainly carried that through inside the home.
Yeah, no, well the key to this space, and it's a lovely big open plan sort of space, is actually the doors.
It is.
So you've got two big panels here that slide right back to get that opening, and then you've got these two as well. So it's just that corner piece, it totally opens up because the real essence of this site is all the trees, the reserve that's out the back, and the idea of having this open plan and bringing that outside in, the cross ventilation and the greenery, bringing that in is key. Instead of putting the pool out the back, which we've got to stop doing that. Instead of putting the pool just out the back, we've actually brought the pool into the house. So whenever you are moving around the house, when you come in the front door, the pool is right in your space and in your life. You know, you've got to see a pool first as art and a landscape, and secondary as a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know, you only use a pool like 1% of the year, even active people.
Yeah.
So use it first as landscape.
I love nothing more than looking at our pool, and I reckon I get in it, what, 3 times a year?
If that, yeah.
But I love it. And like you say, the pool is the art, but so is that beautiful greenery. So if you can just have a house that completely takes that in,
Yeah.
you're halfway there, aren't you?
Absolutely. The body of water in a pool has got a cooling effect, not only in reality of air actually running across it and cooling the house, but just the idea of a pool and the reflection of light off it, it feels cool in your mind. So guess what? You start thinking, oh, I'm not having such a hot day in Byron Bay where it does get hot. I mean, the key thing when you're creating a coastal home, it's very tempting to just do it all cool, cool, cool. But it's still a home, so you've got to be in an element of warmth, and we did that here with the timber floors. So we just brought them right through this open plan living. It just sets off the home as a warm place, but then everything else is about a cooling breeze and connection to the outdoors. You also have to think about budget all the time. You know, sometimes I think people get carried away with trying to put a finish everywhere, and the budget just explodes.
Yeah.
So one of the ways to get around that is just to understand what your heroes are. So in this room, there's no doubt that the hero is the kitchen. So we have spent some money on the stone there, and then we've got the timber floors, but if you look at the actual room, it's just a plasterboard room, but we did expose the rake of the ceiling, so that's a little bit special. But it's actually not that much more money than if you just did a flat ceiling. So I think it's always about meeting your client's budget, making sure that it's still got wow, but just knowing where to spend your money. I go into so many houses and they've just spent money everywhere. It's almost like you need to know your story so you can find your hero and just go for that.
So what's the difference between, say, a coastal modern home and coastal Hamptons?
So the big difference is obviously Hamptons is a style from the past. So it's a nostalgic idea of architecture, which is fine, but in this instance, you know, this is supposed to be a modern home. So modern is from here forward. Anything where you look backwards is nostalgic. So that's the big difference. And obviously, once you're trying to become a style, then you've got to follow the rules of Hamptons. Where in this, where it's modern coastal, you can just follow those rules, which is, you know, form follows function, no fenestration, in other words, no decoration, just keeping it clean lines, simple, and just creating an amazing lifestyle. Coastal's all about living near the coast and the beautiful weather that comes with that. So the whole house is just about bringing that in.
Well, you've done a spectacular job, and I bet your clients absolutely love living here. It'd be hard not to, and thanks for having us through.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you. Anytime.